When you change your layer color settings in the Model tab, it changes them globally. So for example, I could change the color of my green grass here to, let's say, magenta, just for fun, obviously. You wouldn't want to display it in magenta in your actual professional drawing. But the good thing about AutoCAD 2010 is I can change the colors in the layer pull-down menu. I don't have to go here to the Layer Properties Manager and change the colors here. If I close the Layer Properties Manager and just use the layer pull down now, let's go to that gradient grass layer. Let's go and find that one now. There it is there, a gradient grass. If I click on that green box there, it actually opens up the color dialog box for me. Let's change that to that purple color that I promised and OK it. Now what you'll find there is it doesn't actually change that particular color. That's because it's a gradient fill. All it's changed, you'll notice, is the layer that it's on. Can you see that? By layer it's purple, but the gradient is not actually controlled by the layer color. So I should really change that back to a green just to be on the safe side. So what I do is I go back there, change the color. I'll change that to that green there, for example. Now let's have a look at an object that will change color if I change the layer color. Let's zoom in a little bit on the property now. And we'll look here at this layer here. Look, you've got that layer there. That's the sanitary layer for the sanitary ware in the bathroom. So let's just hit escape there to deselect that. Let's click on the down arrow and let's look for that sanitary layer. There it is there. I click on the little pink box there and I'll change that color, say, to a purple. Let's go for a nice purpley pink. Or more importantly, let's change it to a completely different color. Let's go for something like orange. Then we'll see the color change. If I click on OK, see the color change immediately there. It's very obvious. Now, that's a color change globally. Again, like the previous exercise when we looked at freezing in the current viewport, that's a global change. And if I look there, it's orange in the GA. And also, if I look in the details again, it's orange there in that front of house view in that viewport. You'll notice here the sanitary ware in the summer house has also changed color. Now, let's have a look now at our details drawing here again. And we'll do a similar thing to freezing in the current viewport. Let's zoom in on the top left viewport there. And what I'm going to do is look at changing colours just in this viewport alone. Now what I want is things to stand out in this particular viewport for what they are. So this is the front of house. So what I want is I want these walls to change colour. I want them to be red in the viewport only. So I double click in the viewport to make it active. I open up the Layer Properties Manager. Now what I want to do is change the walls. I'm just going to drag this across here so that we can see the layer names better. Now if I just scroll down a bit here, there's our structural walls there. There's our annotative hatch walls there. Those are what we need to change. Now you'll notice they're blue and purple right now. I want them both to be red. So I don't change this colour here. What I do is I scroll across and I change this colour here. So there's walls. I change that colour there and I want it red. So I OK that. And I also go for the hatch and I want that colour to be red as well. So if I OK that now, and I now close the Layer Properties Manager, they're now red, but only in that viewport. If I double click outside that viewport and go back to Model, look, they're still blue and purple. So in the details, in that viewport, I've changed it to red, so they stand out. Let's do the same with the summer house here. So what we've got there, if I double click in the viewport there and hover over that and click, that is on a structural timber. Can you see that? So if I hit escape to deselect, and again open the Layer Properties Manager now, there's a structural timber just there. If I scroll across, I want to change it from 36 there to a different colour so it stands out. Let's go for that reddy pink there. I'll OK that. I'll close that. And as you can see, the timber now stands out in the viewport there. I double click outside the viewport, and as you can see now, that stands out much more on that drawing. I can do the same here. I want the furniture to stand out in this viewport, so let's just pan and zoom a little bit. Double click inside the viewport there, and I want the furniture to stand out, these items here. These are all on the A internal furniture layer. So I hit escape, Layer Properties Manager again, and I want the A internal furniture layer, this one here. So I select it there, drag across, and change the colour here, the VP colour. So there's the furniture. I'm going to change that to red so that they stand out like so, color 10 maybe. Close the Layer Properties Manager, and as you can see now, they stand out. That's what we want to see, those bits there. And then I'm going to click in this viewport here, but before I do that, double click outside, deactivate, and then pan so that you can see the whole viewport. I'm going to double click inside the viewport, and I want the trees and the shrubs to stand out. So let's do that now with our Layer Properties Manager. Let's find the shrubs first. They'll be up here somewhere. There's our shrubs there. So I select the shrubs, drag across here. I'm going to change them to red. So I'll go for color 10 there maybe. Click there, and as you can see, everything has gone to red. It stands out in the red, so you can't miss it now. Double click outside the viewport there, and we'll do a zoom extent, so we'll go View and Extents, and you can see now the bits that need to stand out in each of those viewports. If I look at the GA viewport though, nothing's changed. If I look at the Model tab, again, nothing has changed. You can see that there. That's the idea of this layer color settings in viewports. You can set the viewports to plot with those colors so that the objects in those viewports actually stand out. So in your details there, you can see as soon as you go to it, everything that you need to see stands out in the red, or in the case of the summer house, that reddy pink.